All right, we are about to dive into one of the most dramatic, most pivotal scenes in the entire Bible, the throne room scene from the book of Revelation. And we're going to explore it through the lens of Chuck Missler's interpretation, because he saw a mysterious scroll and a cast of strange beings as clues to a huge revelation, one hidden inside a song, a revelation that he believed could unlock the entire timeline of the end times. So the whole thing kicks off with a cosmic crisis. We are in the command center of the universe, and God the Father is holding a scroll, sealed up with 7 seals. Now, Missler identifies this as nothing less than the title deed to planet Earth, the one Adam forfeited way back in the garden. A challenge goes out to the entire universe. Who is worthy to open the scroll? And the answer comes back: crickets. No one. Not in heaven, not on earth, not anywhere. The universe just falls completely silent.
The weight of this moment is just crushing. John, who's witnessing all this, doesn't just get misty-eyed. The original Greek says he weeps convulsively, like he's sobbing uncontrollably. So why such an extreme reaction? Well, because John understood what was at stake. If no one could open that scroll, then the entire plan of redemption had just hit a brick wall. The whole future of humanity was hanging by a thread, and it looked like that thread was about to snap.
Okay, to really get the solution to this problem, we have to understand the setting. John isn't watching this on a screen, he is in the room, and he describes his throne room as being populated by several key figures. And believe me, their identities are absolutely crucial clues to this whole mystery.
First, of course, is the one on the throne. And it's fascinating, John doesn't even try to describe a physical form. Instead, he just sees this explosion of brilliant colored light, like looking at jasper and sardine stones. Missler pointed out that the sardine stone was the first stone on the high priest's breastplate, and jasper was the last. You see the symbolism? The first and the last, the Alpha and Omega.
Now, circling that main throne are 24 other thrones, and on them sit 24 elders. The details here are everything, so pay close attention. They're sitting on thrones, a symbol of royalty. They're wearing white robes, a symbol of righteousness, and they've been given crowns, a symbol of victory. Tuck those clues away, because they're going to become very, very important in just a minute. And then, just when you think you've got a handle on it, things get even stranger. There are 4 living creatures, which you can think of as a kind of super angel, and their whole job is to just constantly worship. Each one has a different face: a lion, an ox, a man, and an eagle. And these faces, according to Missler's teaching, are deeply symbolic, echoing all through Scripture, from the 4 Gospels to the very layout of the Israelite camp in the wilderness.
So this brings up a huge question. We've got these elders who look an awful lot like redeemed human beings, wearing crowns that were promised to believers. How did they get there? Their presence in heaven before the seals of the scroll are even opened is a massive puzzle. For Missler, the solution is a concept that, while controversial, he believed unlocks this entire timeline. And that concept is the harpazo. It's a Greek word, and it means to be snatched away forcibly. You'll find it in the New Testament, where it's translated as caught up. In fact, it's where we get the Latin-derived word rapture. It describes the sudden, secret, blink-of-an-eye event where the church is literally snatched off the earth. Missler argues that by the time we get to this throne room scene, the harpazo has already happened. To make this idea easier to grasp, he uses the ancient Jewish wedding as a kind of prophetic pattern. Think about it. Christ, the groom, made a binding covenant with us. He paid the purchase price, the mahar, with his own blood. He then departed to his Father's house, telling us he was going to prepare a place for us. And he promised a surprise return, to come back and snatch away his bride, the church. It's a beautiful picture that illustrates the pattern behind the harpazo. So the bottom line in this view is that Scripture actually talks about 2 very distinct future events. You've got the secret harpazo, the rapture, which is for his bride, the church, and then later you have the public second coming, when he returns with his bride to rule on earth. You can see they're very different events, and recognizing that difference is, according to Missler, the key to understanding the timeline of Revelation. Okay, so let's get back to the throne room, where the crisis is still hanging in the air. John is still weeping his eyes out because this universal search for someone, anyone, worthy to open the scroll has come up empty. It really looks like redemption's plan has stalled out at the 1-yard line. But then, right in the middle of his despair, one of those 24 elders speaks to him. He tells John, "Stop weeping, it's okay, someone has prevailed, someone is worthy." And the title he announces is one of pure power, of authority, of kingship, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. I mean, this is a messianic title, a distinctly Jewish title, and it signifies the conquering king who has the absolute right to rule. But when John turns to look, he doesn't see a lion. He sees a lamb. And not just any lamb, but a lamb standing there as though it had been slain. And this is the great paradox of it all. The one who is worthy to rule like a lion is the one who first had to be sacrificed like a lamb. His worthiness is wrapped up entirely in this paradox. See, the lion is his right to rule. That's his second coming. But the lamb, that's the price he paid to redeem us. That was his first coming. This fulfilled the ancient law of the kinsman redeemer, a relative who had the right to buy back family property that had been forfeited. To reclaim the earth for humanity, the redeemer had to be our kinsman, he had to be able to pay the price, and he had to be willing to do it. In all of creation, Jesus Christ was the only one who checked every single box. And as this lamb takes the scroll from the hand of God on the throne, the entire throne room just erupts in worship. And it's right here, in the song that the 24 elders sing, that Missler says we find the smoking gun, the definitive, final clue that reveals who they really are. Now listen really closely to the lyrics of their song. Thou hast redeemed us to God by thy blood, and hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. See that? They're not singing about some other group being redeemed. They are singing in the first person. This is their story. And this, right here, is the linchpin of the whole interpretation. According to Missler, everything clicks into place once you realize who these elders are, based on their own words, their own testimony in this song. So let's just break it down. They can't be angels, right? Angels were never redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. They say explicitly that they come from every nation on earth, and they claim the unique title of kings and priests, which is a promise made directly to the church. The only conclusion you can draw within this framework is that the 24 elders are the redeemed, raptured church. So what does all this mean? It means the church is already in heaven. They are already wearing their crowns and sitting on their thrones before the very first seal on that scroll is broken. They're there as spectators, watching from the mezzanine before that whole period of judgment we call the tribulation even kicks off on earth. And that just leaves us with a final, massive question to chew on. If the very first order of business after the church arrives in heaven is to witness the Lamb's worthiness to reclaim planet Earth, what does that tell us about the ultimate goal of our redemption? It suggests it's not just about escaping something bad, but about participating in establishing something good, a righteous kingdom. It seems it was never just about a destination. It's always been about a destiny,